We all know someone who's just a bit shifty or untrustworthy. Someone who says they're going to make changes they never follow through with, constantly makes promises you already know won't come true, and campaigns on issues they don't actually care about because they know it'll make the public like them more. Activists. These people will say or do almost anything just to get you to hear them out because they're positive they can fix this, all while ignoring the actual underlying issues at play. And while that sounds like me in my last few relationships, stay with me. I'm positive I know how to fix this.
Speaking of disasters, one topic that seems to bring these people in like moss to a bug zapper is climate change. The EPA, or Environmental Protection Agency, collects data and monitors changes in the climate to determine the severity of climate change. And if you're thinking, oh no, the end of the world is going to happen, don't worry, because like the research paper says, it's already happening.
Now, since this is a pretty big deal, a lot of emotions are running high, and much like the planet, the situation is heating up. With no one left to turn to and a lot of time on their hands, these activists have directed those emotions and blame onto the corporations of the world.
PERI, or the Political Economy Research Institute from Amherst University, put together an index of the top 100 toxic greenhouse gas emitting companies based on compiled data from 2017. This list includes companies such as Boeing, ExxonMobil, and NRG. And most, if not all of these companies fall into at least one of two markets, transportation or energy generation, which makes a lot of sense considering both of these markets are very heavily reliant on fossil fuels.
Now, on hearing this, if you were one of these activists with a lot of influence and power, as well as expendable income like, I don't know, let's say Leonardo DiCaprio, and you hear about this, what do? Exactly. You hop right on your $1 million private jet, fly all over the world using thousands of gallons of fuel to meet with several other activists to yell at the companies you paid about how it's all their fault. Classic activism.
While this may seem to you like a wasted effort on these people's behalf, I can assure you, it is. However, I think there is actually a place for this form of activism. They are just pointing their fingers at the wrong person. Sitting in the polluters list at number 7 is the U.S. government. So while yelling at people you willingly give your money to might not cause any change, electing government officials who care about these issues and yelling at them to fix the government's polluting habits actually may. But when you point your finger, 3 more are pointing back at you.
That's why I cut off all but my index fingers. Fucking amateurs. However, if you're some kind of nerd who wants to keep all their fingers, then the best way to look at this is as a basic rule. Don't put the blame on others unless you yourself are blameless. In our case, that means as proper activists, we need to ensure that we aren't responsible for the pollution, or at the very least that we're doing what we can to minimize the amount we do pollute.
If you know anything about economics, then you've probably heard of supply and demand. And you also probably know that they follow each other. If demand is high, more is supplied. And if demand is low, supply falls. We have to speak to these companies in a way they understand. With our money.
Deploy the Galactic Militia and declare martial law.
Yes, sir. What should I pay them with?
Their payment is the honor they'll feel to serve their... Wait, who's paying me to yell at this guy?
I can answer that. For money.
Corporations are not moral entities. They don't care about right and wrong, they don't care that you broke your elbow, and they certainly don't care about the environment. They care about making money. So in our case, the most powerful form of activism is to stop giving it to them for things that pollute the environment. Stop paying so much for gas, maybe buy a bike. Stop eating so much beef, try a vegetable or two. Maybe invest in solar. I don't know. Just give them a reason to stop polluting instead of yelling at them one second and paying them a crisp Benjamin the next. Or in my case, you pay them what you can afford. A crisp $5. Go get yourself something nice.